All right. It's been a little bit since we've done a video. And there's been a lot of things that have happened in my life in the last amount of time since I posted a video. I've had um emotional troubles, I've had mental troubles, spiritual troubles. It's the middle of Lent. Um it's the second week in Lent. No, this is the third week in Lent. And spiritually speaking, not doing too well right now. I don't mean that to like brag or anything, because I know some people, they think it's a good thing to brag about their spiritual problems, and I'm not going to even get into that right now. But I've had a lot happen to me, and I've learned a lot of new things, so that's always a pretty good thing to walk away with in life, is lessons. And the last video we talked about love, and we talked about my reasons for why I think Americans struggle with love. I generally think Americans are pretty bad at loving other people. They're Americans are good at loving concepts and ideas. They're good with loving money, power, status, homes. Americans love their dogs. They love their cats. Americans have like 1,000 different things that they love, but they don't love their spouse. They don't love their partner. They don't love their friends, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this video today. Is friendship. We talked about in the last video, love. Why Americans struggle. I feel like Americans struggle with the concept of love, right? They don't understand metaphysically what love is. It's not just a chemical feeling that I have in the brain, or it's not when my penis is getting bigger, right? And it's feeling warmer because the blood is going down there. Love is not when you get wet because you're into your boyfriend. It's not all of these physical phenomena, right? I talked about in the last, I swear I did not research the last video before coming into this video, but I do remember I talked about what Anne Hathaway had to say in Interstellar, where she's not playing Anne Hathaway. She's not playing herself in Interstellar. She's playing Dr. Brand in Interstellar, who, when she's pressed, right, because she's trying to tell um you know, she's trying to tell Matthew McConaughey, hey, look, we need to go to this other planet. And Matthew McConaughey is like, girl, you want to go to that planet because your boyfriend is there. And she's like, no, no, I'm a scientist. I'm a scientist. I would never do that. And but then when she's pressed on it even more, she's like, love is the thing that transcends dimensions of time and space. And it's just such a powerful phrase. It's such a powerful phrase, because that is what love is. It's not material. Love is not when your penis gets bigger because you saw a hot girl. That's not what love is. Love is not um the feeling that you feel after you've had sex with somebody. It's not the feeling that you feel. It's not even really a feeling, okay? Because it's not material, right? And your brain is material. The chemicals inside of your brain are material. Love is just not it's not a reaction, right? It's the thing that binds humans with other humans, humans with God. It transcends. It transcends things, right? It's from God if we think about it in a theological sense. Love is the energy from God, and you can't separate God from his energies, right? So that is what God is. It's love, or he's love. I'm not saying it as in God is love. I'm saying that is what God is. It's love. He's love. And that's what love is. It's divine, right? So, and this is why Americans struggle with the concept of love, right? Because we live in a very spiritually debased culture where, for whatever reason, being spiritual in the minds of some liberal white woman just means that you read something on Instagram about rocks having a frequency, or you read something about the astrological signs, right? Okay, we got the neighbors coming out, so I can't yell, I can't scream, but we got astrological signs. That's what women consider spirituality to be. Men consider spirituality to be returning to Revopa, right? Where we're gonna worship Hitler, right? Or we're gonna worship white power, or whatever these. There's a million different things that we've replaced proper spiritual love with, right? Americans just can't get the grasp of it, right? Because what did we watch growing up? I guess a lot of people watched like Disney, right? But Disney didn't tell us what real love was, right? Disney didn't tell us how to properly love someone, how to properly date, how to properly treat somebody with respect, right? That's not what Disney did. But Friends, right? I feel like Americans, they struggle with love, right? And by extension, I believe that Americans struggle with friends. They struggle with how to keep friends, how to actually be friendly towards someone, how to manage ending a friendship, being in a friendship. Like, Americans just don't know how to handle it, right? You have normal Americans who are not like ideologically possessed. They know how to have friends. I get that. I'm not saying this is like I'm not applying this to every single American out there, but the vast majority of Americans, they don't know how to have friends, and they don't know how to love, right? And I guess if you can't form a friendship with somebody, right, a platonic relationship with somebody, if you can't do that, how are you going to be able to love, right? Right? Because there's some weird notion in the minds of millions of people living in this country that like a friendship is altogether different than what a marriage is. And it's like, no, you should be marrying your friend. You should be marrying someone who, when it's not romance time, which is 99% of the time, is not going to be romance time. You're not going to be all over each other every single moment of every single day. So what are you gonna rely on? It's gonna be, oh, I was a friend with this person before I was married to them, so we're gonna go back to being friends, right? But we live in a culture where people can't pair bond, and the most basic form of pair bonding is friendship. Being friends with people, right? It's not, people think like pair bonding is like, sexual attraction. It's always sex with Americans. It's always sexual adjacent. And it's like, no. Friendship is the foundation of pair bonding. There isn't any other friendship or foundation for friendship, okay, that humans know how to do and how to practice. We only know how to practice friendship how it's been passed down, right? There isn't any other type of friendship. Friends with benefits, it doesn't work because, again, there's the sexual part is something that friends don't share with each other, normally speaking. So those don't ever work, right? There aren't different types of friendships, okay? Situationships, where it's like an unnegotiated relationship, right? And on the surface, you guys are friends. But if you investigate it any deeper than the surface level, right? You two aren't friends. You two are engaging in some type of romantic activity together. You have like some weird sort of psychology related towards each other, right? So there isn't, it's like modern people are so stupid and retarded that they reformulate or they create these new methods of doing doing what's not normal, or they create new methods of avoiding what is normal, right? Being in a situationship with someone is not normal. Okay? A situationship is an unnegotiated relationship. It's a relationship for cowards, for weak people who can't discuss what they're doing in real life, right? Right? Because again, on paper, you're friends. You're friends, but what do you do behind closed doors? You do things that friends don't do. And instead of just negotiating relationship, so and then at the end of the day, you're not actually friends with that person. If that's what you want to do to somebody, like, you're not actually friends with that person. That person isn't actually someone you would consider a relationship with, but you keep the situationship going, again, because you're a coward, right? Because it would take effort to end a situationship. It would also means that you lose the possibility of maybe a relationship forming in the future, right? But we've already started off being cowards, so a relationship is never going to happen. Friends with benefits, not actual friends. Every situation where you have friends with benefits is literally, they're not friends. They're friends in the bedroom, right? They're friends in the bedroom, but then once they go outside, you don't see them around each other. They're not actually in the same friend group, so they're not actually friends. There's just benefits, right? So yeah, there isn't any other like real type of friendship that people should be having with each other. And again, Americans are so mentally ill that yeah, people just can't just be friends with somebody. Right? Everyone is so mentally ill that there has to be an ulterior motive, there has to be something else. Right? You can't just be friends with somebody. Generally speaking, I don't think it's a bad thing for men and women to be friends with each other. Obviously, some of those relationships, some of those friendships are going to lead towards not being a friendship, right? They're going to lead towards some type of romantic situation. But that's okay. Right? That's okay. It's okay to acknowledge that friendships do lead to romantic relationships. That's an okay thing to acknowledge. Modern people are so not okay with understanding that again, we've created different categories of relationship statuses that shouldn't even exist, right? But generally speaking, I think it's okay for men and women to be friends with each other, right? As long as we acknowledge that, yeah, sometimes the guy friend might be attracted to you. If you have a problem with that, don't be friends with men. Don't be friends with women. Don't be friends with the opposite sex. Okay, because not everyone out there is going to be. I don't necessarily consider it like not well intending, or like I don't consider it evil in the same way that like a liberal white woman would consider it evil for a man to engage in a friendship insofar as he might potentially get a relationship with that lady. I don't think that that's wrong. I think that that's like quite literally normal pair bonding. It's normal for a man to say, I want to be friends with this woman first before I ask her out, before I express my emotions with this person. That's a sign of emotional maturity from a man. And a lot of women don't like that. They don't like the idea that their guy friend is just their friend. Um, they consider it, or he's just my friend so he could sleep with me, or he's just my friend because he wants to be in a relationship with me, and that's normal. I don't understand if women understand that. That's a normal thing for a man to do, unless I guess some women would prefer that the man just completely negate and invalidate their experience and just walk up to them and just take them like some Neanderthal or something. I don't understand what women want in that regard. But if you have a problem with it, don't be friends with the opposite sex, because it's human. It's just human for a man to, and it's not like any man is actually sitting out here thinking like, I'm going to um create a situation where this woman hates me because I want to be in a relationship with her because I like her, but I kind of think we should be friends first before I ask her out. Now there's an element of that which is cowardly on the man's part, because you don't want to take that too far. You don't want to be friends with a girl for 3+ years, and then at the end of the third year, um you don't want to tell her that, hey, I've been in love with you for like a little bit now. You don't, like, because that's creepy. That's a really creepy thing to do. But if I don't understand if people don't understand what flirting is. But if you're flirting with someone, you're kind of friends with them, you want to stay friends with them so you can maybe get to know them a little bit better. That's human. That's a normal thing to do. I don't understand this at all. I don't understand the way friendships work anymore. Um, like, I guess with men, it's very hard for me to be friends with men. I hate locker room talk. I hate talking with men, and it's like this battle. That's what being friends with men is sometimes. It's a battle to prove that you know a topic well enough, or you're really into some specific thing, and you have to wrestle with ideas. You have to, sometimes they literally want you to wrestle with them. Sometimes they want you to again engage in locker room talk. I hate locker room talk. I've always hated it. From middle school I've hated it, right? And this is my difficulty with friends, is that if I'm friends with someone, it's because I've intentionally put in the energy and the effort to be friends with them, right? And I'll tell them ahead of time, hey, this is what I don't like. Okay, I'm not friends with these type of people. I'll tell my friends all the time, like, I don't like this, I don't like that. One of my only guy friends, right? We met in the army after I got out of advanced training. He got out maybe like 2 months later, and we were in the same unit, obviously. And yeah, we were in an environment with a lot of men, um, who, generally speaking, I would say that when we were there, I would say that those men were my friends, right? But now that all these years have passed, I've realized, oh wait, I only had one real friend there, and I'm still talking with this person, right? Not that the other people were less, right? They were less friends than what he is today. But this is what Americans don't understand. They don't understand that friendship is a type of love. It's a type of intentional platonic love, right? It's a relationship. This is what Americans don't understand. They think everything is a feeling, a vibe, an energy, an emotion. But no one ever talks about intentionality, right? Because if you're not going to be intentional with the way you treat your friends, or the type of friends that you have, right? How are you going to treat intentionally in a good way the person you sleep next to, or the children you have with these people? If you're a dirtbag to your friend, how are you going to not be a dirtbag to your kids? Right? It's a type of love, friendship, and like any other type of love, it has to be nurtured, it has to be watered, cared for, tended to. Sometimes you have to prune things off. If we're going with the gardening analogy, you have to prune things off in the relationship so that unnatural or unwanted growth does not, continue to spiral out. So, and this is a good point with friendships between men and women, right? If you're in a friendship like that, if you're a guy and you're in a friendship with a girl because you like her and you want to go out with her, you want to be exclusive with her, you have to be intentional, right? We can't just creepily continue the friendship along for multiple months or multiple years and then get upset when she starts dating someone else. We have to be intentional. We have to tell this person that we love them, right? We have to be intentional in the same way that I'm being intentional about being a friend to this girl. I have to be intentional about continuing to nurture the relationship. And then she has the right as a human to say, no, I actually don't want this relationship with you. Let me prune this off. Okay, you have to do this with any human relationship, right? There's points or there's times in a friendship where you have to tell someone you need space, you need time. I don't want to talk about that with you. You have to do these things. Okay. And if you're in a friendship with someone who doesn't want to be intentional, I'm not saying you have to sit down with somebody and have a list of things that you wrote out beforehand about, I hate these 15 things about you, right? I love you as a friend, but these 15 things, your toenails, you don't wear the proper makeup, you look ugly, you're stupid, you're retarded, right? You can't just do that, right? But you can go up to your friend and be intentional about saying, hey, you're a little undereducated. I'll go to school with you as a friend. I'll go to school with you. I'll go to school with you. Or your hair is a mess. Let's go take you to the barber shop. And then you go take your friend to the barber shop. A memory that I'll always have of the same man that I was talking about from the military was we went to go get our toes done, right? And this was something that I did not want to do. I thought it was weird. I know this is going to get me deep platform. I thought it was gay. I thought it was just something I didn't want to do with him. But again, being intentional about my friendship with him, I went and did the toenail thing. Was it uncomfortable? Yes. Would I do it again for him? Probably not. But I did it that one time. And we went out to go eat at a Chinese buffet. And we're watching TMZ. Kanye West is on TMZ screaming at the producers of TMZ because he's like, I tried to get, I don't know how many pounds lighter. It was 15, 20 pounds lighter because I wanted to do it for you guys. He was ranting. And, that just reminded me of Kanye West's song about real friends, about, who is your real friend. And, for him, the song is about what was that song about? One of his cousins or one of his friends stole his laptop that he was talking to women on, or and it had music and tracks on there that he didn't want released, or your friends who they start talking to you more when they need money. And generally speaking, the problems that rich people have with friends are not the same problems that poor people have for friends. But yeah, we do have problems with, generally speaking, friends who are only friends with you because you have something or you got something, right? So they're more of like bandwagons. They're fangirls or they're fanboys because you got something, right? But they weren't there for you when you were trying to get it. You have friends out there who, friends who they're just there because you have something. You have friends who, you have money, so they want to stick around you more. Or you did an act of service to them out of love, right? And they want you to keep doing that thing. So there's kind of a similarity to the plight of rich people with their friends. But yeah, when you're rich, you don't have friends. Everyone at the top is fake and phony, right? Drake in Future, they were never friends. Jay-Z and Kanye West, they were never friends. Who were they friends with? It was just the money. And of course, once things get difficult, once things get hard, right? Those friends that were there for money aren't there anymore. Right? Where was Jay-Z, in the words of Kanye West, where was Jay-Z at when he was up on the stage talking about Tidal, that stupid little music app? Where was Jay-Z at? Right? The money wasn't there, so Jay-Z left. You have friends who are only with you because, like I said, you got women around you, you got money around you, you have something that they want. Maybe it's a business, right? They want their spot. They want their ticket in. And you're their ticket in. You're going to be the thing that gets them into the high society living or whatever thing that they want, right? You got friends who, they're work friends, so you're friends on the surface, but not friends outside of work. So you're not actually friends, right? Because you're only friends insofar as the corporation, the company, the boss, or again, whatever money is involved, and that's why you're friends with that person, right? But once the time clock is up, you're not friends, right? And that's fine. It's okay to have situations where you don't carry on a friendship with someone else. I'm not making the case that you need to be friends and smile and be jolly with every single damn person you meet on the street. But the people that are closest to you in your life, you should be intentional about keeping those people there, especially if they're benefiting you in some way. Right? If they make you feel better. Right? They treat you good, they make you feel better. They help you regulate their emotions in some sort of way. You can talk with that person. If you feel like you can talk with somebody for an entire night, 12 hours in the night, 8 hours in the night, that's a person you want to keep around in your life, right? Someone you can effortlessly talk to and have a conversation with. I'd argue that that's someone that you should marry. But, we live, again, in America. The standards by which we form romantic relationships is already poor. It's a stupid standard. It's, he looks good. He's making a lot. For women, that's what women say. I've never met a man who's like, wow, she makes a lot of money, I really want to date her now. I've never heard that come out of a man's mouth. But there's 1,001 different terrible reasons why people form romantic relationships with people. And there's 1,001 different bad reasons why people form relationships or friendships. But generally speaking, if you can't form a relationship, a platonic relationship with someone, if you can't form a friendship with someone, you're never gonna make it in the dating world. You're never gonna make it. You're never gonna make it, right? And that's why people in our culture get divorced. You got women going up to the courthouse to get a divorce, like the judge was handing out candy. You got men, they're cheating with 1,000 and different succubi and succubus on Pornhub. You got all these different problems, and it's because people don't know how to form friendships. They don't know how to be friends with someone. That's why all their romantic endeavors fail right off the bat. How the hell you been married for 2 years and you're getting a divorce already? Like, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. You've been married for 2 years and you're gonna get a divorce, right? Oh, it's because I didn't know him. I have a different feeling now. I just don't feel the love that was there, because the love was never there to begin with. It was just a biochemical reaction that you had to seeing someone who was physically attractive, who was monetarily attractive, whatever, but you didn't actually love them. Because love is intentionality. Love is a job. Quite literally, loving someone else, even as a friend. As a friend, I would say it's a part-time job. If you're in a romantic relationship with someone, that's full-time, right? So, and if you're thinking like, I don't want to actually be there for a platonic friend like that, like I don't even want to be there part-time for that person, then that person's not your friend, and you should just cut them off. It's better for the both of you. Friendship is work. Love is work. Relationships are work. And if you don't want to put in the work, don't put in the work. No one told you to show up and clock in at the workplace of this person's heart. No one told you to clock in. No one told you to put in the interview, right? Who are your real friends? Do you have real friends? Most people, their family members aren't their real friends. The person they put their dick in isn't their real friend. The person that they're talking to and laughing at work isn't their real friend, because there's no intentionality behind it. There's no desire to be that person's friend. They're just there, and you're tolerating it. That's what most Americans are operating on. That's the premise that they operate on. Can I tolerate this person being in the same room with me talking about a similar topic? That's what friendship is for most Americans. But that's not what friendship is. Right? I can count on my hand how many friends I have, and they all have very different personalities than me. They don't think the same way as me. We don't even share the same interests, right? Generally speaking. And if we do share the same interests, it's in divergent ways. I'm still friends with them, right? And how? Because of intentionality. Because I intentionally put in the work to be their friend. So when all these women and these men start complaining about, like, the love was there and now it's gone. We used to have sex, but now we don't. He used to take me out, but now he doesn't. That's all intentionality, right? Okay, because love and relationships are not feelings that just, when I stub my toe and the feeling of pain goes away 10 seconds later. Love is not that. Love is not when I stub my toe and the feeling of pain is there and I feel something for a moment. That's not what love is. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. It's 2026. I don't know what my posting schedule will be like, but I'd like to be somewhat regular with my postings, but it's whatever. It's YouTube. The world is going to end one day. I don't feel really hard pressed to post videos all the time, but there we go.